I see a couple of you on camera.
Good morning.
Good morning, Ty. Audra's talking to us, but she hasn't worked that unmute button yet.
Good morning.
You want to hear some unfortunate news that happened this Friday?
Yes. What's unfortunate, and how'd you overcome it?
I got off of work and my dad and his girlfriend were out of town, and I came home and m- she has a my dad's girlfriend has a husky and I have a pit bull, and I my pit bull is not dog friendly, but for the last 2 years, the pit bull and the husky they've been okay. They don't they don't get into any altercations. The only time something happens is like something something overstimulates both of them, and then just it happens out of nowhere. And it's happened twice. Like they've gone to a fight twice. Well, I got home Friday night, not even 30 seconds go by, and all of a sudden the pit bull just starts attacking the husky. So I just immediately go into like trying to save the husky. And so I don't know if you guys know anything about pit bulls, but they do not let go. So like
Mhm.
you literally have to choke them out. Like there's nothing else you could do. Like you
Just
could try to
FYI,
pull them
Tyler,
apart.
that's
Oh
all dogs.
no.
It's not pit
Yeah,
bulls. It's all dogs.
yeah, and it's like it's ridiculous. Like, and my dog, he just latches on, and like luckily, like I really don't think he was trying to kill her because he was just holding her there, and I just like basically like just squeezed him. Like I mean, like I wrapped my whole body around him. Well, when I put my arm underneath it, the husky got a hold of my hand and bit right through my pinky. Like
Mhm.
No.
that bottom, like right where your knuckle is on your palm, like at the top of your palm to the start of your finger. Yeah, right there. Bit clean through that, and it is pretty sore.
Mm.
But luckily, both of the dogs are okay and they are back to normal. I don't know what happened, but it was just ridiculous.
Yep.
Ty, I have no voice this morning. Ty, I would do, since you guys know that they may have a tendency to do stuff like that, I would get like a pill bottle or a Gatorade bottle, get a couple rocks or some pennies and put it in there and just have it somewhere in the house. And if that stuff starts again, you shake that right into one of their faces till they back off.
All right, I've never tried that. I'll have
Before
to.
they latch on, though, is the key to
Well,
that.
that's the thing. So every time, like every time it's ever happened, like my dog doesn't give any signs. Like the only like he'll just wait until it's like until he has no like until nobody can stop him. Like nobody is like fast enough. Like he'll wait until she walks right in front of him, and then he'll just um, just bite down like immediately. Like it's such a like they're when they fight. Like I don't know. I've told my dad and his girlfriend they shouldn't be together in the first place, but we've all gotten a little too comfortable, so it was all of our faults, but we are we're figuring something out because it's just
Mhm.
it shouldn't be happening.
You need to check your tetanus shot.
Oh yeah,
Is that like past
yeah,
5 years?
yeah, we've been on top of that. Don't worry.
Okay. All
I
right.
put my cell phone number in the chat if you have any questions. I worked in animal shelters for a lot of years, so just
Sweet.
hit me up. I got some ideas.
Thank you.
Well, let's get some goodness in there. Ty, I'm glad that you were able to separate them and you didn't lose a finger. That's a
Yeah,
win.
I didn't. Yeah, we're good.
The rest of you,
Yeah.
only
Remember,
up from
remember I gave you my win last week and I told you my daughter was on my phone. That
there.
was kind of awkward, right? But she needed my phone. Her phone broke and she had some important business. So when the client called, well, the potential client called, she acted like she was me and she ran and told me someone's calling you about a home. She's the same one that wants to help me, and she's thinking about joining me in real estate. So she does my video content. So that's something that I want to share too. So that was why she was on my phone. I don't
Uh,
normally let people get on my phone, but that was an emergency situation for her. But that's not a good protocol.
It could be a good protocol. All right. Other win celebration. It's Monday. So today is the day we're going to reset our mindsets to get moving. So I want you to start focusing on the good stuff, right? Positivity.
Yes.
Last week was a fantastic Glover U Live Unreal Summit in Scottsdale. Lots of good notes. And we watched, if any of you guys know Jeff Glover, we watched his listing presentation, like start to finish, and he would pause the video and he broke it down. And I took notes and I actually recorded the whole thing. So I'm putting it in a transcript and I was going to send it out just kind of step by step how he does that flow. It's so smooth.
Good. Love to see that.
Yeah.
Nice.
Being a river, not a reservoir. I love that.
I have some winning news. I start calling SOIs, my contact phone numbers and things like that. And one of my friends, she's a potential first-time home buyer, and she was asking me about the process and what to look for. She wants to, she's getting really serious, and I was asking, do you want to full cash buy or some like a lender, I need to introduce you. And she say, oh, I needed some, I have some money to save up, but it's not enough for full cash buy. So I called Dan and he gave me a couple of numbers. I'm gonna call them and give them like information in between. I'm gonna help them. They have some unique situation, so it's not like ordinary first time home buyer situation. So hopefully my first transaction will be
Soon.
coming up soon.
Yeah. All right. What else out there? Guys, today is rolling off weird. I like it. This Monday's got a different temper to it.
I have one of my out of town buyers that I've been working with a really long time, just being patient. He texted me last night that his house is finally going live on Wednesday, and they already have an offer kind of lined up, ready to go, which means that then I can get a little more serious with him. So I'm excited about that. And then another lead from a recent open house finally responded to my pokes, and I think we have an appointment on Wednesday.
Good.
Nice.
I have my daughter's boyfriend was doing a painting job at a house, and he found out they were selling it, so he's trying to get me in touch with the seller so I can list it.
There you go. There we go. Some business.
Yes.
What's the number one thing we as real estate agents struggle with?
Can you repeat that?
What is the number one thing we as real estate agents struggle with?
I would say lead generating.
Okay. Lead generating.
Asking for business.
Yeah.
Asking for business. Here we go. What else? Come on now.
Me is
Time management.
Time management. What was that, Joanne?
follow up for me.
Follow up. Okay. For Jess, it's saying goodbye to her husband. It's okay. We saw that. We appreciate it. Good job. High five. Come on. What else?
Confident in going through the process.
Confidence, process,
Preparation and
Detail
consistency.
oriented.
preparation, and consistency. Well, that one, I didn't hear you, Leona.
Detail oriented.
Okay. The details.
Yeah, the consistency.
Consistency.
Discipline.
Discipline. There's a good one.
The discipline.
Notice how none of you really had the same answer. So can I just globalize and say every one of us has this one problem? No. We all work differently, don't we? We all have different plans. We all have different expectations. We all have different abilities. We all have different struggles. Raise your hand if you're a very detail-oriented person. 3 of you, 4 of you, maybe, right? Raise your hand if you're not. Right? Our superpowers are different, and that's good. We're all going to be different. I want you to realize that. So when I say, what's your number one issue? What do you have a hard time with? Or what's the one hurdle you need to overcome? That's when you get to look at your business and, okay, if I did one thing differently, if I added one thing to my business, or I removed one thing from my business, or I changed the way I did one thing in my business, everything else would improve. What's that one thing? Well, it's probably the first thing you said. Joanne's like, shit. Joanne's was follow-up. Joanne, if you improved your follow-up, would that improve everything else?
Hell yeah, because I did some this week and I lost $64,000 in commission because I did that follow-up and I was sad.
There you go. Right? If you were more consistent on things, would you be more successful?
Heck yeah.
Right. Mikey, if you asked for business more, would you get more business? There's an opportunity. Go ahead.
No, yeah, I totally would. You know, because we always have great conversations. It's just a matter of finding that confidence to tie it in and ask for it in a smooth manner about commission breath.
Yeah. Commission breath's a real thing. It's the need versus the taking care of people, and it just sorts itself out. I understand that. But when it comes down to improvement in our lives, I'm not looking for massive change here. I'm not looking for you guys to reinvent who you are. I'm just looking for you to refine who you are. Right? The cake is already baked. There's no way of changing the cake. The frosting might have a little issue with it. Can we fix the frosting pretty easily? Yeah. Most of us, it's just a polish issue. Most of us have 98% of what we need. Maybe even 99%. It's just that 1%, that one thing, that small little change. So that might be follow-up. That might be, be better at details. That might be a little bit more organized. That might be sitting down with consistency. That might be the discipline to follow the routine. That might be just getting out of your own headspace so that you can have the confidence to ask for business. It might be as simple as I need to change how my morning routine goes. It might be as simple as I need to go to bed a little bit earlier so that I can wake up a little bit earlier. Do you know why the second Friday in January is called Quitters Friday? Anyone give a guess?
That's when everyone dumps on their New Year's resolutions.
That's exactly what it is, Lydia. Why is that, Lydia?
I think people, I don't know, people try things and they just quit by default. I have no idea. It gets too hard.
So when somebody sets a resolution for themselves, are they usually small?
Usually big resolutions without a plan.
Right. Right. We usually have these huge, grandiose things like 2025 is going to be my year. I'm going to do this. I'm going to do that. I'm going to do this. I'm going to do that. I'm going to change who I am. I'm going to lose 100 pounds. I'm going to start a business. I'm going to run a marathon. I'm going to build a car. I'm going to do something massive that I've never done before. And I have zero plan around it. What if 2025, your resolution was to be 1% better? I'm going to show up to 1% more classes. I'm going to read 1% more books. I'm going to eat 1% better. I'm going to be 1% more active. Could you improve yourself 1%? Pretty easily, huh? You're like, you know what? I could just not eat that second cookie. Or in my case, the 30-second cookie. Right? I can stop at 15. Do you guys know what the serving size of an Oreo is? I didn't think so.
Asleep.
Yeah, here you are all judging me. What's that?
I said a sleeve of it, a sleeve of Oreos.
Sleeve of Oreos. That's one serving size. And they're vegan friendly. I know that
Right?
from Christina, so I didn't know that before. But here's a big thing, right? We have in our worlds problems. We all do. Every one of us. Most of those problems revolve around the reflections in the mirror. Because you're the issue in the underlying situation in most of your life, because you're the most consistent effort. You're the most consistent person. You're the most consistent environment. Now, if we know we want to improve and the first thing that comes to our mind is this, that, or the other thing, we can write that one thing down. We can circle it 5 or 6 times, then we can write the question underneath it. How can I get 1% better? Well, if your thing is follow-up, which a lot of you guys, it should be, myself included, I'm terrible with follow-up. If I was 1% better at follow-up, what does that look like? Actually doing it? Doing it on a schedule? Having it on the calendar? Not being afraid of the rejection? I think that's why most of us don't do follow-up, is we don't want to know. It's the unknown versus the known. I'd rather unknown that I didn't get the deal or not versus, nope, you suck. You didn't call us back. You failed. That's why we didn't go with you. And you're like, oh, that hurts my heart. I lost $68,000 in income. If yours is discipline, 1%, okay. What are you going to do to improve upon that 1%? I don't like New Year's resolutions because I know that 99% of them fail. Why would I support something that 99% fails? It's like people saying, I don't want to get married because 50% of them fail. Okay, that's stupid. When the odds are it works or it doesn't work. Okay, that's 50-50. It works or it doesn't work. It's pretty simple. But when it's 99%, it's guaranteed to fail. Like my New Year's resolution is guaranteed to fail because I'm making it too big and don't have a plan. Now, do we all know someone who has changed their life completely in a year? Radically changed their life in a year. Okay. What stands out about that person or that individual or that situation?
Grit.
Grit? Okay, tell me more.
They had
The mindset.
Yeah.
Joanne said mindset. Audra?
That's what I was going to say, the mindset. As a mindset to where they're not going to let anything stop them.
Yeah, but
Nothing's
it's
going to get in their way.
and in association with that, it's a plan and the consistency to follow the plan and not veer away from it.
When you have a plan, do you allow the plan to go awry? If you're in the middle of something, imagine this. For those of you who don't have kids, it's going to be hard. Imagine your dogs, right? You're in the middle of working and your dog just keeps coming up to you and bumping you with a ball. Play with me, play with me, play with me, play with me. Play with me, play with me, play with me. What do you do?
Throw the ball somewhere so they can get away.
Okay, well, that's engaging in the issue. Or do you ignore the dog? Or you're like, go away, not now. I'm working on something.
Right. Throw the ball and then all of a sudden it's like, okay, I got to throw it again. Now you're derailed.
Right.
Because you took yourself off of the plan to engage in somebody else's plan. What happened? Now you're seeing it, aren't you? You're seeing how I have a plan, I have a rotation, I have a situation, right? If one of my kids were to come up to me right now and start talking to me, could I talk to them and talk to you and have a good conversation with either? No. Absolutely not. So what I usually say?
Go away.
Go away, right? It still derails this a little bit. Most of the time I ignore them.
You made somebody else's plan a priority.
Yeah. When we are wanting to improve in our lives, business, relationships, any of the key circles, we have to make targeted goals realistic, right? none of us are going to grow to be 6'7". We're all pretty much done growing. I'm sorry, Jim. I'm breaking your heart. But we can all grow our effectivity. We can all grow our impact. We can all grow our ability to be better. But we have a plan. We got to stick to the plan and do not let it get derailed. In our lives, who is the most obnoxious person that derails our plans? A couple of you are like, I don't know, maybe my boyfriend. That's what Gracie's like. It's that sumbitch. I know it. It's his fault. No, it's not. It's yourself, right? You want to eat better. Who's the person opening up the fridge going, you know what? Brownies sound like a good idea this evening. Oh, 6 p.m. on a Saturday? Definitely time for a milkshake.
I always tell Katie I watch what I eat.
Yeah, right into the mirror. It goes down. You just don't protect it. But we are the number one reason our plans fail. We tend to blame others, external forces. No, here's the truth. You want to do something better in life, you set the intention, and you usually set that intention where sitting down and having some good willpower, right? I'm fresh, I'm free, I'm reset. That's what the new year does to you. It makes you believe in yourself at a high level. And then 2 weeks later, your subconscious is all, we should not do that anymore.
It's a little bit of guilt and shame too. Like, I said I was going to do this last year and I didn't do it. I'm going to do it this year.
Yeah. You know, my resolution last year and this year are the exact same. I don't set resolutions. I set plans. I wanted to pay my truck off earlier, so I've set a plan to pay an extra $200 a month on my truck payment.
What would it look like if you started every Monday on Sunday like that?
And why do you think our Mondays are mindset resets? Why do you think we have it set up that 52 weeks out of the year, every single week, we get to reset? If you took the time on Sunday afternoon, Sunday evening, after the football game, or whenever you're the most lucid, and you created an intention for yourself, and then set a plan to it, and then you said, listen, subconscious, quit being annoying. We are going to do this shit. Monday morning, we have a call at 8 a.m. or 7 a.m. California time. I really hate that you guys are not on daylight savings. It sucks for you.
Me too.
We have a reason for being somewhere. And I'm not going to allow myself to stop me. Man, there are days I don't feel like doing the dishes, and right now the sink's full of dishes. I'm going to do them later after this call, when I'm done with my other things. Man, my brain is super powerful. It can find every possible reason not to do something. Anyone else have that same thing? Right? Only Audra. Thank you, Audra, for being honest. The rest of you guys are.
Yeah, I do too.
Stephanie's hand was just so small. She's like, I'm just down here.
I was doing this.
But here's where we're going to succeed. This is where we're going to change the fates. You're going to take time today, right after this call if you can, so it's fresh in your mind, and you're going to write down the one thing that if you started doing it or you stopped doing it, everything would change. And you're going to circle it 5 times. And then you're going to write the question underneath it. What can I do to make it 1% better? And you're going to come up with an action plan. Right? Mine, stop making excuses. There's 3 letters that I put on my vision map this year. My word of the year, if you will. It's 3 letters. N-O-W. What do you think that's for?
Remind you to do it now.
Do it now.
Get it done.
Quit procrastinating.
Yeah, do it now. Quit coming up with excuses. Do it now. Because I've got so many great ideas. I have so many great things I want to do. I have so many things I want to get implemented. It took me 6 months last year to get my fucking license or my logo done. And Mikey and I had the design for it months before that. But we always found a way to put it somewhere else. So my word of the year is now. That's how I can do 1% better. Is I can get out of bed when the alarm hits and not just lay there for an hour. I could take the dirty clothes as I'm walking out of the bathroom and put them in the basket. I can take the trash that's on the ground that my kids leave behind and just take it with me. Do it now. I can make the phone call the moment that the lead comes in, or the moment the person comes to mind, or the moment the situation happens, take a note and take action. Do it now. Because I've learned that if I give myself time, I will come up with some beautiful excuses not to do it. Anyone else hearing that in their soul?
Yes.
Yeah. Yeah, I know. Mike, you got your hand up. What you got?
So, I'm reading Rebel, and one of the first exercises is the 50 dreams exercise.
Yeah.
And I think that's something that can be modified to pretty much anything that you want to do. So, like, in other words, what's the 10 things keeping you from lead generating? Write those down, and then pick, a couple, 5 of them, or whatever that really are kind of most your biggest hindrance. And then underneath that, go with what Dan's talking about. What's that 1% change that you can make to improve it? And I think by writing it down, because the 50 dreams exercise, you're putting it. Dan and I've had this conversation. I have a hard time visualizing what I would love life to be like because I've never experienced the things that I'm dreaming of. I don't travel. I'm 48 years old. I've never been to Vegas. That's like the rite of passage for most, 21-year-olds, right? And we're not that far from it. And I really have no desire to at this point. And I'd rather go to Nashville or whatever. But my point being is, I have a hard time grasping it. But by writing them down, you are making it real, or you're minimizing your objections. You're starting to see that it's not impossible, or you overcome that fear. Right now, I'm so scatterbrained, I don't even know which direction to go with life, and I'm retracting it so much to just the basics of what does my day look like just to make it to the end. It's a serious painful struggle right now, and so that's the reason I'm doing to that. And by listening to this call this morning, I think that's something else I want to work on, is how to overcome those objections and minimize them to where they're not so fearful.
You're not alone, Mikey. You're not alone there. Everyone on this call can have a piece of that.
Yes.
The reason we don't take action is because of the fear of failure. And like we learned and we talked about last week with John Maxwell's lessons around failure, is failure should be leaned into. So behind me, you guys see this big box, and I hope you can't hear it. It's currently printing something. It's a 3D printer. I do not know what the heck I'm doing. I don't. It's trial and error. I print one thing, it breaks because I didn't do it right. So I got to print it again and again and again. And I don't know if it breaks for 6.5 hours after I hit the go button. And for me, an instant gratification type of person, it almost makes me not want to do it, because if I can't guarantee it's going to be perfect and right, I don't want to waste my time and all the resources that go into it. But all the articles, all the things I've read, all the videos I've watched, all the pieces of information that have helped me become who I am have taught me that in order for me to understand what I'm doing in this world, and I print things for my kids, and I don't know if you guys have ever played with 3D printers, but there's some weird shit in there. The only way to get good at it is to fail a lot. Understand what you're doing and break it. I've broken, like there's a smaller one right next to it. I broke the smaller one already. I had it for like 2 weeks. I already broke it. But when I broke it, then I had to research how to fix it And now I understand what I did wrong to break it in the first place. But just like our lives, just like our success, just like in careers, if we don't break it, we'll never know the limits of it. If we don't push ourselves that 1%, and 1% doesn't seem like a lot, but the difference between 211 degrees and 212 degrees is a big change, but it's only 1%. That 1% may break the entire thing, but it then gives you the chance to rebuild it and come back better. You should be excited about failing at some things because it's taught you a valuable lesson. I don't know who said it. It's a coach. Let me see if I can find it in my notes. But where is it? Success is actually a terrible teacher. It is. I wish I could find the exact quote, but it goes along the lines of success is a terrible teacher. It gives you an unrealistic expectation of life. Anyone's parents always tell you life is hard, get over it? Or my mom used to say life is tough and then you die. Okay. Words of wisdom. But it's good. It's the biggest thing here is life is going to be tough. You're going to have to fail to figure things out. And when you figure things out, you get better at them. So try, fail, learn, improve, and do it again. Don't give up. And worst of all, don't stop yourself from starting. Was today worth your time?
Yes.
Good. Happy Monday, my friends. I'll see you guys tomorrow.